And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Monday, and today you better enjoy it, folks, because it is the last full day of March Madness today. So after today, we have to wait till freaking Saturday for March Madness to even resume, and that it's not even on all day anymore. Like, we don't get the 12, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, and the 8, the 9, the 10 o'clock game. We only, a couple of games here in the second round, so we go from like 12 to 2 to like 5 to 6, 7, 7, 7, 8. So we still got a nice full kind of day on here all throughout the day. So enjoy it, bask in it while we can, because I mean, it's these first 3 days have been great, but after those first 4 days, today's the fourth day, we have to go a couple days without it, and then we don't get as many games, and, the magic of March is slowly starting to fade a little bit. So we're going to be kind of talking March Madness at the top of the show. We are continuing on with our draft prospect countdown. We resumed it yesterday. Now that we have more time freeing up because March Madness is kind of dwindling down, we can squeeze that in. So we are going to be looking at a linebacker from LSU who's only been playing about 1 year in the FBS. We'll talk about that when we get there. But yes, we got that on the show, breaking down the NBA, doing our moneymaker for the NBA for March Madness. So let's start here with what happened yesterday in the March Madness tournament. So we made up a little ground yesterday in our bracket here in our challenge. We have officially claimed that number 2 seed. We were tied for 2 yesterday going into yesterday, and now we have fully broken away for the number 2 spot. Go Rutgers still at number 1, and HGMF6 is now in 3rd place. So let's take a look at our bracket and see what happened. Well, yesterday they were the second round matchups of the South and the Midwest, and we know that we didn't do so hot in the first round in the South and the Midwest, so a little banged up there. Baylor ends up beating Wisconsin. They advance. Villanova ends up beating Unity, Texas, whatever UNT is. I forgot at this point, but whatever. Purdue moves on. And then who else is moving on here? We get Arkansas and Oregon University, another huge upset there. The 15th seed taking down not only the number 2 seed, but now the number 7 seed, and has to go up against the number 3 seed when they resume play in the Sweet 16. So absolutely fantastic here. Huge upsets, a number 15 seed getting into the Sweet 16. Absolutely well done. We'll see if anybody in our bracket challenge has called that 2-time upset. I don't think there is, but we'll double check. All right, and then in the Midwest, Loyola Chicago, another great win. Absolutely magnificent. They're able to knock off Illinois, the 1 seed. Another huge upset in Loyola Chicago. Can they go all the way? I mean, they've been looking real good. I mean, look at this, 71 points in their both first games. And look at the defense, holding Georgia Tech to 60, and then just holding the number 1 seed, Illinois, to 58. This is a great defensive team, so they might be able to go all the way. Alrighty, Oregon State beating OK State yesterday, 80-70. We got West Virginia getting beat by Syracuse, and how that's just on us. I mean, 2 Boeheims. I know we get the coach Boeheim, but then we get the player Boeheim. Double Boeheim in this tournament, and we didn't take Syracuse. What were we thinking? We didn't have that in the algorithm. Next year in our algorithm, we're going to have to take total number of Boeheims on a team, because when you get 1, it's pretty good. But when you get 2, gosh darn, that's going to be a championship, folks. So watch out for Syracuse being able to upset West Virginia 75-72. The Boeheim player and the Boeheim coach are getting it done here for Syracuse. Shame on us. We are a clown for not taking Syracuse. We didn't even have them beating San Diego State. Fools on us. And then Houston able to survive Rutgers, thank goodness, kind of helping us out a little bit because we got Houston going all the way to the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, we had Illinois beating Houston, so we'll have to try to take as many points as we can get there before. But very well done to Houston, surviving Rutgers in a close one all the way down to the wire, 63-60. Alrighty, so that was what happened yesterday. Let's see how our competitors here in our challenge picked these games. So let's go to the first place, Go Rutgers, who currently is in the lead with 27 points. We have 22, and third place has 20. Alrighty, so he's got the Baylor pick correct. Unfortunately, he was going with Winthrop with us as well, so did not call the Villanovas. He's got both of these. He called Texas Tech and Arkansas and correctly picked Arkansas winning that matchup, so congratulations. But then, oh boy, he did not call the Florida Oregon State. He didn't even call the Oregon State upset, so little off the mark there. Alrighty, and then we go down to the Midwest. He picked Illinois to beat Georgia Tech. He didn't even have Loyola Chicago winning out of the first round, unfortunately. So a little off the mark there as well. But then he called Oregon State versus OK State. Ended up choosing the wrong winner of that matchup. He went with OK State, but Oregon State with the upset. Alrighty, he also did not choose Syracuse. Once again, what were you thinking? You must not know. If you didn't take Syracuse, the only reason why you didn't take care of Syracuse was because you didn't know of the double Boeheim effect that they had. So a little insider knowledge would have helped you out here in this Syracuse pick. Unfortunately, he went with San Diego State winning the first round as well. He picked West Virginia correctly. But once again, he didn't have Syracuse. And then once again, he did choose the Rutgers and Houston matchup correctly, and then Houston winning that matchup as well. So nicely done there in the Midwest by our first place Go Rutgers. And let's just quickly look at the last place here in our challenge. Not good at all. What did he got going on? He had Wisconsin and Baylor. Or UNC and Baylor, so didn't get that second half right. He went with Villanova. Alrighty, he had Villanova coming out of the first round, but then didn't, and then doubled down with Villanova getting out of the second round. Alrighty, and then what else did we get here? He called the Colgate upset. That did not happen, unfortunately, so couldn't get any more points out of that one. He also did not call the Oregon University upset over Florida. Loyola Chicago, he did not call. Unfortunate, so he couldn't get the double points there. He did not go with Syracuse either. Once again, no, not really heavy Syracuse here, unfortunately. And then he got Houston, but then he had Rutgers beating Houston, so unfortunate there as well. Or Clemson beating Houston. So little off the mark as well. Hopefully we can get it going here in the second kind of day of the second round. We had a lot better of a first outing in the first round in the West and the East bracket. So hopefully we can find more points out there to try to make that push from our 2 spot to try to rival Go Rutgers, currently number 1. So we'll try to see. Hopefully our algorithm works out today in the second half of the second round here of the tournament. Alrighty, we are tipping off very, very shortly here, probably in the next 30 seconds. So let's quickly see what the line is. Try to squeeze this one in really quickly. We get Oregon versus Iowa, and Oregon's plus 4.5. Oh boy, let's double check our bracket, see who we chose if we correctly predicted this matchup, and we did. Oregon and Iowa. We do have Iowa advancing, so we will stay away from this spread here. Oregon plus 4.5, Iowa minus 4.5. Not really any great value, especially kind of running through our algorithm. We didn't have Oregon with the upset, so we're not comfortable taking the spread here, but let's check out these other games of the day. The 2:40, 2 o'clock matchup here. Oklahoma at Gonzaga, and we know Gonzaga just absolutely blew through their first round matchup, really no problem, but let's see if Oklahoma can maybe kind of squeak out a win here. The spread is plus 14.5 points for Oklahoma. Holy moly. And we just see that Gonzaga just absolutely obliterated the first round opponent, 98-55. I think they may have put up the most points of any team in the first round of the March Madness, or even to date, I don't think anybody put up more than that. Colorado put up 96 in their first meeting, but that's not more than 98. So, yeah, nobody scored 99 or 100 points. So, I mean, Gonzaga is going to be putting up the points. Oklahoma just squeaked out a 72-point performance. So, we got to stay away from this one. Can't trust those points knowing the scoring output of what Gonzaga can do. So, we'll stay away from this spread as well. Alrighty, we might be able to get some good value here, but it's still not as big as I kind of hoped. We get Albine Christian versus UCLA. Albine Christian was the one that we called the upset over Tennessee, I want to say. Texas. It was Texas. They ended up winning 53-52. They didn't put up a lot of points, and now they have to go and face UCLA, who just put up 73 points and beat BYU, upsetting them at the 11th seed. So I do like ACU. They didn't really kind of match up very well against BYU when we were running them in the algorithm. We still have is this still our algorithm? Oh, it is. Perfect. It did not update. So let's just quickly run this Albine Christian versus UCLA in our algorithm very, very quickly here. Just because we ran it through, we ran Albine Christian through our, it doesn't look like it's going to let us. Alrighty, and now, unfortunately, we're not going to go through that again. We'll have to set it up. So, unfortunately, we can't do that. But, yeah, I'm not going to trust the 4.5 here for Albine Christian. It's just, yeah, they won, but they pulled it out narrowly and didn't put up that many points. I mean, 53 points here in the tournament. We got teams putting up 98. Come on, get with the scoring program. So, we'll stay away from that one as well. All right, then we get to Ohio and Creighton. Ohio plus 5.5, Creighton minus 5.5 here. Alrighty, we had Ohio versus UCSB. We thought UCSB was going to have the upset, but I really kind of liked the way Ohio was playing, plus they're getting 5.5 points here. I'm all about it. Creighton going the distance with kind of a subpar team, according to kind of just how the rankings were, the 12-5 seed, and Creighton just winning by 1 there. So we'll take Ohio here, who kind of dominated Virginia there in a nice 4-point win at the 13th seed. So we get 5.5 points here. I'm all comfortable with that. That's our first pick here today, the 6 o'clock matchup, Oregon or Ohio versus Creighton. Take Ohio plus the points there. Alrighty, then we get LSU and Michigan. LSU plus 5, Michigan minus 5. So let's see where we're at with that. We ended up having St. Bonaventure upsetting LSU, but we also have Michigan, and we know that Michigan is a number 1 seed. They just put up 82 points, but LSU just went out and put up 76 against St. Bonaventure and kind of blew them out by a nice 15-point game, 15-point win there. So a nice little 5-point spread for LSU. I think it could be close. Let's give LSU a chance here at these points. We'll take the plus 5 there for LSU. Alrighty, and then we get Colorado and Florida State. Close spread here. Colorado plus 1.5. Florida State minus 1.5. We correctly called this matchup Colorado versus FSU here in the East, and we have FSU as the winner, and all we have to swallow is a 1.5, basically just picking the winner. So we're going to double down on our bracket here and take Florida State with the win, minus 1.5 points. All right, the last 2 games, Maryland and Alabama, and Alabama's been looking good. They impressed me what they did in the first round, so we may swallow 5.5 points here, but let's double check. Maryland versus Alabama. Unfortunately, we did not call Maryland versus Alabama. We had UConn winning that game. But a nice upset, nice 9-point win for Maryland in their first win. But Bama beating Iona by the 13 points. That's pretty good. So think we'll stay away from it. Maryland did have a pretty good showing, putting up 63 points. Alabama put up 68, so pretty close there. So we'll stay away from that spread. We got 3 other good picks here. We want to take the points here. We want to either kind of just have a kind of, basically a 0 spread, just pick 'em spread, or we want to get some points with some good underdog teams. So we'll stay away from Maryland and Alabama. And then the last game of the night, USC and Kansas. Small spread here. USC plus 1.5, Kansas minus 1.5. Let's see what our bracket is saying. And once again, we did correctly pick this matchup here in the second round in our bracket, USC versus Kansas, and we have USC with the upset over Kansas. So once again, we will double down on our bracket, take USC plus the 1.5. So we got a nice little moneymaker here in college. Ohio plus 5.5, LSU plus 5, Florida State minus 1.5 and then USC plus 1.5. So that's what we got here in the last full day of March Madness. Enjoy it, folks. Make some money while you can. Alrighty, and then the Oregon-Iowa game has tipped off. Oregon early kind of lead here in the first 3 minutes, 10-9. And Oregon, a little fadeaway jumper. Oh, it cashes in. They extended that lead to 3. Yes, sir. Alrighty, let's head over to our stories of the day and see what is happening around the sports world. Well, here we go, folks. We are getting pumped for the draft. March is coming to a close. That means April's up next. Yes, sir. And then, end of April 29th through May 1st, that is when the draft is happening. It is in Cleveland this year. There's going to be fans in attendance. Going to have to wear the mask. That's fine. Roger Goodell is going to make an appearance. We don't get him from, how creepy was the draft last year? Just Roger Goodell in his basement sipping like whiskey the entire night, reading draft picks from the depths of his lair. Could you imagine what kind of house Roger Goodell lives in? He's probably going down like 8 floors just to get to the basement of where he was shooting all the picks from last year in the draft. But it's back here. It's in Cleveland. And these kind of mock-ups of how it's going to look, it's got me excited for it. We got the stage right here. Fantastic. Very open outdoors. Plenty of room for fans to attend. A nice, huge stage. And then look at this. You can kind of see it from the city skyline. We get the Brown Stadium right here, and then it's just right next to it. This is looking real good, folks. And then the last picture, just look at these. Obviously these are, just mock-up sketches of what it's going to look like. But, hey, if they can kind of pull this off, I'm all about it. It looks great. Can't wait for it. A first live draft in 2 years since COVID. So I'm all about it. It's in Cleveland. This is where teams get better. This is where teams solidify their roster for championship runs. Will our teams that we root for 4 or 5 straight months in, will they be picking the right pieces? Hopefully. So join us for our live draft show April 29th. We'll probably start a half hour probably before when the draft starts to get us kind of comfortable and, kind of just going over all of our notes and getting us ready for that kind of pre-draft. And then when the draft's on, we're all ready for it. So come join us a half hour before the draft. April 29th. We'll solidify the details once everything starts to come out a little bit. So stick around to the show. Stick around to our social medias for all that information. Alrighty, and it's like every week we get a quote by Cam Newton, and I don't care. Talk, say whatever you want, but at some point we're gonna be like, all right, this man's still talking and still not performing, so we're just gonna kind of ignore it or just talk about it like we are talking about it right now, not in the highest of lights. So here we go, just some more quotes. Cam Newton on his mindset. So this is just kind of in Cam Newton's voice right here. Oh, the Patriots are getting this. Oh, the Patriots are getting that. Well, what is Cam going to do? That's funny. It's just like, once again, let's read the other quote and then we'll get into it. And then the other quote, once again, Cam Newton on his mindset. I would not have wanted it any other way. I'm used to this feeling. I'm not new to this feeling. And just once again, he's always playing the underdog role and the, oh, woe is me role. And, I'm actually good. But, it's just some unusual circumstances in games where I just kind of flounder a little bit. But I'm still good and I still deserve all these chances, and I'm doubted every single season. Yeah, you're doubted every single season because you say the same things every single season. Oh, I'm the underdog. Oh, I'm gonna work hard. Oh, I know I have to prove myself this year, so I'm going guns a-blazing. Oh, I've always been written off, but this year it's different. And then we just get what happened last year. Nothing really great. And then you're saying the same things this year that you said in last year's offseason. Oh, this is my last chance. Oh, I'm on a 1-year deal. Oh, nobody signed me. I'm getting the minimum. I'm getting paid basically nothing. I'm playing for basically free like Big Ben's going to be doing this season. And then he's always like, I'm ready to prove myself, but then he never does, and that's the same exact formula every single offseason. Well, this is the Cam Newton formula, right? Not a great season. End of the season doesn't end too well. Contract is up, so then he kind of starts inflating his value during the offseason, be like, hang on, I can play, and I'm ready to rock, and I'm ready to kind of take a pay cut. And then the pay cuts happen, and then he's still talking about, hang on, I'm still underpaid and I'm undervalued, but I can still work. And then the season begins, and he's still not doing anything really great. And then the end of the season comes, and once again, not in the playoffs, not in the Super Bowl, and his contract is up in the offseason. Now he's still talking in the offseason, folks. It's the same thing. And I don't want to knock this man. I don't want to be a Cam Newton hater. I liked him. We gave him the chance. We gave this man so many chances. We were building this man up. We were talking this man up all last season in the offseason because we wanted him to do good. And then he just never did. And then we're back to these quotes saying, what am I going to do? I've always had this feeling of just kind of being undervalued, but I'm ready to rock. So, I don't know, man. Cam Newton's still talking. I'm not buying it. I'm not going to buy it until I see it. So, Cam Newton, man, I wish you the best. But let's a little less kind of talking about yourself and how much of an underdog and how undervalued you are, and go out and just prove it and win the AFC East. Win the AFC East, and then talk about that. Because I'll be about it. If he goes and wins the AFC East this season, especially with kind of how the Dolphins should be playing and definitely how the Bills are playing right now, it's going to be tough to win that. So win the division, and then maybe I'll be like, all right, now this is a Cam Newton we can start kind of getting behind. Alrighty, let's move on to a little highlight workout of Najee Harris. We broke this man down in our NFL draft prospect countdown, and he's looking really good. Still not sure if I'd rather have Najee Harris or Travis Etienne as kind of my main premier back. Not really sure which one should go first in the draft, but this little workout video had me kind of hyped for this man, Najee Harris. He was looking like a little bit of a mini Derrick Henry out here, moving very quickly. This lateral quickness is real great. This lateral acceleration is actually really good, and this is probably the clip that probably impressed me the most, just this one right here. All these quick cuts, these lateral cuts, and just kind of his kind of bigger size frame that he has, kind of giving me a little bit of Derrick Henry vibes out here a little bit. So not really sure which one I want to go with, Najee Harris or Travis Etienne, but this little tape of Najee Harris working out here, I think I might be slightly in the favor of Najee Harris now. Travis Etienne, show me your workouts, what you're doing to get ready for the draft, because I want to see it. Because Najee Harris is looking real good out here, folks. Whichever running back you get, it's going to be a clear home run hitter. So hopefully, if you need a running back in the draft, you either get Najee Harris or Travis Etienne, because man, oh man, they are looking real good out here. Alrighty, and this is a good thing. I think this is good, folks. The Rams have agreed to terms with wide receiver Deshaun Jackson, so we get the nice speed of Deshaun Jackson with the great deep ball of, darn it, Matt Stafford, the newly joined Rams quarterback here. So Deshaun Jackson has had a little bit of a couple of issues here these last couple of seasons, just kind of staying healthy. He had a couple of ankle injuries these last 2 seasons. In 2019, he only played 3 games. Just last year in 2020, he played 5 games. But once again, I mean, when he's healthy and when he's working, this man is an absolute killer at the wide receiver position. I mean, this man is always averaging 16 or 17 yards per reception. I mean, just getting down the field every time you throw to him, 16, 17 yards. And he's had a couple of seasons where he's at 22, 20 yards per reception, but his average is really kind of 17.4. He's around that average, very close in these last couple of 3 seasons. So he can still play, just needs to be healthy. Hasn't really shown that he can have a full kind of healthy season. That's kind of the one knock, but the speed is still there. The catchability is still there. The breakaway ability is still there. And that's kind of what the Rams are looking for. Sean McVay didn't kind of like the lackluster throwing talent that he saw of Jared Goff. That's why he's no longer there. Now they got Matt Stafford, who's got a great cannon of an arm. They're ready to rock with some nice, fast wide receivers out here. So definitely watch out for this Rams offense. If Sean McVay thinks he's this good that he's able to double down and trade Jared Goff and get a better quarterback in Sean McVay's eyes, I mean, watch out, because if Sean McVay is really virtue signaling his true coaching potential by making all these moves, I mean, if he's got the plays to back it up, watch out, because this could be a deadly vertical offense here of the Rams. So watch out. They already have a great defense. Now, if their offense is even just a little bit better of what they've been, oh my goodness. And they're bringing in the talent here. So Sean McVay getting a piece that I would assume he wanted. Deshaun Jackson, nice, very quick, shifty wide receiver out here. So watch the verticality of this Rams offense next season. All right, and then we get a little update here. We just saw the Titans have to get rid of Corey Davis, and that was a huge kind of offensive piece, not only for the offense, but also for really Ryan Tannehill having nice two big wide receivers that, A.J. Brown and Corey Davis able to kind of win those 50-50 balls and, go up and high point those balls because they're nice, tall wide receivers. So the Titans lose a little bit of a weapon letting Corey Davis go, but they just got a Rams wide receiver, Josh Reynolds, so he just joins the Titans here. So let's look at what Josh Reynolds is doing a little bit, because I never really even heard of this man or really kind of followed this man. So we look him up, and he's 6'3", nice kind of true replacement of Corey Davis. I think Corey Davis is, what did we say, 6'2" to 6'4", he's in that range. So Josh Reynolds comes in and makes up that height immediately. But then he was also kind of fighting for receptions with Cooper Kupp and their other wide receiver I'm blanking on, Cooper Kupp and not Robert Woods. Was it Robert Woods? Whatever. There was two wide receivers on that Rams team, and Josh Reynolds was not the number 2. But, Josh Reynolds just last season, 52 catches for 618 yards with only 2 touchdowns. But once again, I mean, the Rams have other pieces to go to, so they weren't really targeting him. He was kind of the wide receiver 3 on that Rams team, if not 4. So he comes here, elevated to kind of wide receiver 2, along with A.J. Brown. So this should be able to kind of help Ryan Tannehill fill that void of Corey Davis a little bit. They are definitely still working on their defense a little bit, because I really think the Titans kind of game plan of getting to the Super Bowl is really going to be a huge running game and very good defense, just not letting Ryan Tannehill kind of be the main controller, this main kind of distributor of the football in the offense, just because we've seen him not be able to get there time and time again these last 2 seasons with the Titans. So, and it's not a knock on Ryan Tannehill. I mean, he got him to the AFC Championship game, so we got to respect that, but can't really see him winning that game, and can't really see Ryan Tannehill winning a Super Bowl. Definitely need that running game of Derrick Henry. That's their best offensive piece, and their defense needs to step it up a little bit so the running game can, run out the clock, control the game. Your defense can, stop all the, get a 3 and out, and then you just keep running with Derrick Henry. I mean, we can eat up an entire first half just like that. So we'll see how this Titans offense works, but pretty good pickup here for the Titans, picking up wide receiver Josh Reynolds, formerly the Rams wide receiver. Alrighty, next up, and I knew I liked Tyreek Hill for more reasons than on the field production. So Tyreek Hill did not restructure his contract with the Chiefs, and then he was interviewed about it, looks like in front of his home. I would like to see his full house, but it looks like he's just in a regular neighborhood here. But he's basically just saying, like, yeah, I didn't restructure my contract because, I'm just out here playing football for my family, and I'm just trying to get, the deal done, and it's stressful to kind of go back into negotiations, and they already signed me, so why am I going to restructure? And once again, players knowing their value, not being, the team, the organization wants to kind of save some money in my area, so they want to restructure my deal a little bit. No, y'all already paid me, and this is what I'm worth right here. I'm not down to restructure, whether it's just kind of restructuring year-wise or money-wise. I'm not about that. Y'all signed me. The deal is done. I mean, once again, just players playing for themselves. Obviously, kind of still being a team on the field, I get that. But when it's during the business session, I mean, we always hear, "Oh, football is a business. Football's a business. Football's a business." From the owners, from everybody, from all the mouthpieces on ESPN and Fox Sports and all that. Oh, it's a business. That's why the players usually get the short end of the stick. But now players are kind of realizing their worth a little bit and being like, "Hey, y'all already paid me. I'm not going to restructure because y'all wouldn't restructure the deal if I wanted more money. I'm going into my 3rd year, but I just kind of won you the Super Super Bowl, let's restructure my deal right now, the team would be like, nah, no, we're not going to do this. We like what we're paying you right now. So yeah, why should he have to go and restructure his contract just so the Chiefs can get more pieces? That should have been what the general manager should have been thinking before they gave him that deal, before they offered him that deal. So I've got no problem with Tyreek Hill not restructuring his contract for the Chiefs. The business side of the NFL wouldn't do it, so I'm not expecting the players to do it. So Tyreek Hill, man, love it. Alrighty, and this is super funny, folks. This is super funny. Little random Twitter user here. Well, he works for PFF, so I won't say random. But a Twitter user here putting up a sorry, I just had something come through the headphones. I didn't know what was coming through. Yeah, what the heck is this? It's only in my left one, and I don't know what's going on here. But either way, let's get back to this. Throwing me off a little bit. But, all right, so we get a nice graph here of kind of the strength of schedule for quarterbacks. The x-axis at the bottom, the strength of schedule. Negative numbers mean an easier strength of schedule. Positive numbers mean a harder strength of schedule. So when we look at it, we see Daniel Jones. He had the hardest schedule as the quarter of all the starting quarterbacks in the league. Daniel Jones and the Giants had the hardest schedule here. And he still made it work. Once again, we cannot shit on Daniel Jones. We are big believers of Daniel Jones. He just had the hardest schedule of any team, and he still did decent. They were still, a game away from winning the NFC East, even though, it was kind of lackluster all throughout. So Daniel Jones can still work. With Saquon Barkley, they still had no real running game this game as well, and Daniel Jones still made the most of it. So we are still big believers in Daniel Jones, and this kind of, backs us up a little bit more, vindicates us a little bit more. We see Nick Mullins, the second quarterback on this list of kind of hardest schedule. We see Carson Wentz at number 3, and which is kind of interesting. We also get Andy Dalton at number 4. So are we a little too hard on Andy Dalton? I don't want to say yes, but potentially here, according to this draft or this graph here, Andy Dalton, his lack of success could have just been that hard schedule that the Cowboys had, and also the very lackluster coaching ability of Mike McCarthy there. Russell Wilson also at number 5 here. I mean, once again, Russell Wilson, the Seahawks really floundered at the back half of the season. Now we know it's kind of strength of schedule, having to face hard opponents in the entire season here. So that's why Russell Wilson and the Seahawks floundered a little bit. Sam Darnold's at number 6. Tua's at number 7. Teddy Bridgewater's at number 8. All these quarterbacks that everybody says is trash, Tua, Teddy Bridgewater, Andy Dalton, Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, they all had real tough schedules here this season. So let's all take a step back, take a deep breath in. These quarterbacks can play. Sometimes you just get hard opponents week after week after week after week, and there's just no time to kind of reset or, kind of have a good game to kind of get back on track because you're facing, top tier teams week in and week out here. So Teddy Bridgewater, we love him. We think this man can play. He just had a little bit of a harder schedule here. All right, and then when we look at the very bottom, of these quarterback lists, it's really funny of who's at the very bottom. Phillip Rivers, who we clown, he's the second to last. We'll reveal the last in a second. Phillip Rivers is the second to last, and we kind of clown him saying he's trash, but he kind of had an easy schedule. That's why his last season he was able to get to the wild card game, and he still challenged the Bills a little bit, but he couldn't get it done because he's not clutch, and everybody loves to praise Phillip Rivers, right? And then the easiest schedule by far on this margin here of this graph, the easiest strength of schedule for the quarterback, drum roll please, was Mitchell Trubisky, the MVP, folks. How funny is that? Mitch Trubisky with the easiest schedule probably had the worst overall seasons of all these quarterbacks on this list. Mitchell Trubisky will never work. He can never work. It's proven right here. Here are the facts. And it's just great that, Matt Nagy finally got rid of him and no longer with Chicago. I'm just hoping that Mitch Trubisky doesn't kind of weigh down the locker room there in Buffalo, because he's kind of a non-factor here. I don't know if he's going to try to be a leader. Don't try to do that. Nobody's going to listen or respect you on that Bills team. They're going to be listening to whatever Josh Allen says because he just got him to the AFC Championship game. Mitch Trubisky, you couldn't even get the Bears with the easiest schedule to the playoffs here in the NFC. So why are you even on this team? Be the backup. We'll call you. Don't even come to the practice. When we need you, we'll call you. You come over for the couple of days, and then when Josh Allen is back, you just leave to go wherever you are hiding because we really don't want you around our team in the facility even. So Mitchell Trubisky, easiest schedule, worst quarterback production. Daniel Jones, hardest schedule, and still kind of made it work a little bit. So, just an interesting graph that caught my eye, kind of validates us a little bit, so why not say it, right? Alrighty, let's move on. Is this where the volume is coming from? Tyreek Hill in my ear? Okay, that's where it was. All right, now let's go to the last football story of the day. And I was kind of confused of why the NFL did this, so I had to go recheck the stats, and the stats agree with us. So I don't know why, but we get to the NFL tweets out another kind of highlight package. The top plays from Drew Locke's sophomore season with the Broncos. Was there any top plays of this man? Because I remember this man throwing a lot of interceptions and not getting the wins. And when I kind of had to double check at these stats, that's exactly what we saw. 13 games started this season, 4-9 record. He won the same amount of games his first year in 2019 when he only played 5 games as in 2020 when he played 13. 4 wins in 2019 with 5 games played. 4 wins in 2020 with 13 games played. This man, I don't know, man. He's not looking good out here. So he went 4-19, 57% completion percentage in a year that a completion percentage was inflated. Drew Locke does not get it done. Not great. And then the touchdown to interception ratio. Yikes. If the completion percentage didn't sell you that this man's really not that great, if his overall record didn't sell you that this man's really not that great, well, this is going to tell you that he's not very great right here. 16 touchdowns, but 15 interceptions. Carson Wentz had 15 interceptions, and they sent him out of Philadelphia, even though he was there for his entire career so far, 4 or 5 seasons. Drew Locke, I was really kind of befuddled that the NFL would kind of put a highlight package together of this man. So let's watch it. Let's see what they're saying is kind of good play out here, because we know this man's not really looking good at the stats, but let's see if he can kind of fool us into thinking he's actually a good quarterback if we were just looking at this highlight package. So let's see what this man Drew Locke was doing on the field, because we know in the stat column this man was not getting it done. So here we go. First play up is against the Raiders, and it's 24-24 in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. Backed up to his own end zone, fires a strike over the middle that's kind of wide open. And who is that? All the way, taking it all the way. Woof. Bad defense there by the Raiders. And we saw that. Remember the Jets, their big play. Was it against the Raiders that they won the game? And then the Hail Mary pass by Ryan Fitzpatrick against the Raiders to win that game. So they give up another big old kind of 90-yard play there. All right, this time against Carolina here, going down deep. And once again, this play is in the fourth quarter. That's where all of his production came anyway. His touchdowns all came in the fourth quarter when the game was kind of over most of the time. So another touchdown here in the fourth quarter by Drew Locke against Carolina. Now we're going to the third quarter here. Against Carolina as well. Just kind of wide open passes here. He's hitting wide open passes, so we'll give him that, but nothing contested, and I want to see all those 15 interceptions, because we just said he's basically 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. So all of these nice kind of wide open bombs that the NFL is showing here, you should be picturing a very bad interception with every single one of these touchdown passes. Alrighty, in the fourth quarter, down 14 against the Falcons. And you know what? You want to know why he's down 14 points here? 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter against the Falcons. I'll take a guess. I'm gonna guess he at least threw 2 interceptions, or I'm gonna say 3 interceptions against this Falcons team, and I want to say 1 win for a pick 6. So let's investigate this a little bit here. I have not previewed these games. I have not previewed these highlights. Everything is off the dome here. So let's see his 2020 game logs against Atlanta. Let's see what he did here, because that's what Drew Locke does. Throws a lot of interceptions in kind of the first half of the game, and then when the game's basically over, he kind of makes it a game, kind of stat padding at the end of the game, letting it loose, still letting it fly. That's when the touchdowns come, when the game's over and the defense is giving you kind of all these underneath throws that go for a little bit more yards than typical, because you're just not letting the big plays go. And so that's why Drew Locke has 16 touchdowns. But let's see what he did here against Atlanta. This was week 8. He had, only 1 interception. Okay. All righty. Only 1 interception here. All right. So that was bunk, unfortunately. Was it a pick 6, though? Let's see. It was not, unfortunately, either. Darn it. All right. Either way, let's get back to the highlights here. Let's see what's such a great play here against the Falcons. Dropping back to pass, airing it out. Is that Jerry Jeudy? Yes, sir, for about 25 yards there. Nice, able to get wide open. All right, here we go on the goal line. Down 6, last play of the game to beat the Chargers. Oh, he's clutch, folks. Yes, sir. Able to tie up the game. Last play of the game on the 1-yard line. Finds the receiver, corner of the end zone. And unfortunately, that's what the Chargers were. I mean, they could not close out games. They could not finish games. So that's why the Broncos ended up winning this one. But, hey, still well done for Drew Locke. I mean, hey, you're in it. That's what you played the entire game for. Do have a chance to win the game at the last play, and he goes and takes advantage. I'm all about it. All right, against the Patriots now. Ooh, this is a pretty good throw right here. I'll give him this one. Very good throw, tight throw with the safety coming over the top. Able to squeeze it in there very quickly. Very well done there. That's a great throw. I'll give him that one. All right, against the Patriots here in the first quarter, though, so we're going back a little bit here. Going deep, one-on-one coverage, and once again, these receivers are making all these plays. Very well done. Tim Patrick here, their big old tight end weapon, goes up and makes an absolutely perfect catch, and Drew Locke puts it kind of right on the money. But all those interceptions need to be cleaned up. Not really sure what the Denver Broncos are going to do this season. I'm sure they kind of draft the quarterback and maybe start Drew Locke, but have their rookie quarterback kind of just sit back and be like, all right, maybe you have to go in now because Drew Locke is still out of control with these interceptions. So we'll see what the Broncos do in the draft, but I don't really see Drew Locke being kind of a franchise quarterback. He's a gunslinger, but he's not a Brett Favre gunslinger who's going to win you rings and get you to the big games in the playoffs every single season, have all these great touchdowns. Still has kind of, decent interceptions as well. But, with, 2-to-1, at least 2-to-1 touchdown ratio, and you're still putting up touchdowns, then we can forgive interceptions a little bit. But got to put those touchdowns on the board first before you start throwing all those interceptions. And Drew Locke does not do that. Alrighty, let's head over to some basketball news. And man, oh man, March Madness is never not crazy, right? So here we go. 8 brackets out of 14.7 million in the ESPN Tournament Challenge correctly picked all of the men's games yesterday, having perfect brackets. So I mean, holy moly, 8 out of 14 million. The odds are definitely not in our favor. We tried to spice it up this season by just kind of looking at stats that are important to us, and still that does not even pan out most of the time. I mean, we're second in our bracket pool, so whatever Go Rutgers did in our bracket pool, however they picked, a little bit better of just kind of looking at straight numbers. So never know what you're going to get here in March, and it's been crazy. All these upsets, the 15 seed getting to the Sweet 16. We've got a couple of 13 seeds to 12 seeds. It's just real crazy. The 1 seed already out. Illinois is already knocked out in the second round, so really kind of crazy here. 8 out of 14.7 million are correct up until this point. So good luck finishing the last couple of games with those brackets as well. Alrighty, then the worst news. This is the worst news of yesterday. Ugh, I think I'm going to be done watching the NBA now. LaMelo Ball has fractured his right wrist, and he's expected to miss the rest of the season. LaMelo Ball, point guard of the Hornets, who started on the bench as the rookie and then was able to play so freaking darn good on the bench that they elevated him to the starting position. and he was looking real good, having great games, but now he's out for the rest of the season. Darn it! I loved watching this man play, loved watching this man get better every single game, loved watching this man kind of help this Hornets team get into a playoff spot. I mean, what are they currently, 6, 7, 8 here? The last time we looked, I think they were 6. And now they've fallen all the way down to number 8 here, unfortunately. I mean, watch this team in the playoffs would have been great. They probably wouldn't have gotten past the first round, but I think they would have been competitive. Probably steal 2 games, probably lose 4-2 in a series. But man, oh man, he's a dog on the floor. He's a competitor. He wants to win. He elevates everybody else on this team. His passing ability alone is fantastic. His scoring ability is pretty darn good to go along with that great passing ability. So a true point guard here. Unfortunately, rookie season cut short a little bit with a fractured right wrist. And now who's going to be rookie of the year? Because he's going to miss about, 30 games? Is there about 30 games left? They've already played 40. There's like 70-something. So, close to about 25, 30 games left this season in the NBA. And I don't think I can give him Rookie of the Year missing all those games. That's why we couldn't give it to Zion last year because he missed so many games. So, looks like Andrew... the rookie from the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, looks like he may be now the Rookie of the Year. Truly unfortunate by disqualification, by default now, because LaMelo Ball is going to be missing all these games. So truly unfortunate here for LaMelo Ball, and I'm just absolutely crushed. We can't even like the Hornets anymore. We truly have to sell all of our Hornets stock now. It's unfortunate, and it's depressing, and I'm upset. I'm truly upset about it. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Not a great day in the NBA, just overall, but so here we go. Julius Randle going against the Pelicans without Joel Embiid yesterday. Very close to a win. He didn't like some of these calls at the end of the game, but he had a couple of chances to win the games himself, and a nice long 3 at the end of regulation after hitting a big 3 after Tobias Harris did not cash out on some free throws to ice the game. So, Julius Randle had a lot of opportunities to kind of go out and win the game himself, kind of got bailed out by some free throws, but he was not happy with the officiating in overtime, couldn't win it in regulation, couldn't get it in overtime to fall. Just truly unfortunate here by Julius Randle, and then he goes out and speaks out against the reffing, the officiating last night, and I agree with some of it. Some of it was wild. The last call at the end of overtime was kind of nonsensical, but they give the free throws to the Pelicans, and they kind of win the game because of that. But Julius Randle, angry at the Knicks' loss. Here we go, quote, blown calls by the officials after all the following and everything that was going on. For them to call that and decide the game is fucking ridiculous. Yes, it's ridiculous. They got to do a better job. It's too many games like this, and I would definitely kind of feel for the Knicks here. Ever since the All-Star break, they have kind of been competing with the elite teams here in this league. Unfortunately, they're just losing so freaking close here. I do want to kind of bring up their schedule very quickly. Hang on. Let's see if I can bring up their schedule very quickly, because I just want to kind of point out all these close losses after the All-Star break here. Alrighty, here we go. So March 11th, they get blown out by Milwaukee. Their first game back, but hey, it's their first game back after the All-Star break. We can allow that one. Alrighty, against Brooklyn, they lose by 5. Close. Once again, not getting it done down the late stretch in the fourth quarter. Against the 76ers, their first time losing by 3 points, 99-96. Losing to Philadelphia just last night, 101-100 in overtime. So just close games, not able to close them out in the fourth quarter. And that's what this young team is just not able to do, close out games. So we do like the Knicks. They are kind of upcoming, and they've got some nice pieces. They're all kind of getting it done on a nightly basis, these role players, but they're not able to kind of win in the fourth quarter. Nobody's ever clutch. Truly unfortunate here. So another loss by the Knicks, and Julius Randle is not happy. Alright, now we have some reports and rumors coming around because the trade deadline is coming up. I want to say next Tuesday is the trade deadline. Maybe even this Tuesday. Let's look that up. All right, so trade deadline is March 25th. So this week, this Thursday at 3:00 p.m. Eastern time. So that's going to be great. We'll be going live. Hopefully trades are breaking as we're going live on Thursday. But yeah, later this week is the trade deadline, and so a lot of news is coming out. This first one, the Atlanta Hawks have expressed trade interest in Marcus Smart. They might have trade interest, but the Celtics are not going to be trading Marcus Smart. That's kind of their third best piece here, honestly. Maybe Kemba Walker's their third best piece, but definitely Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown 1 and 2, and then you can make the argument for number 3, whether it's Marcus Smart or Kemba Walker here. But don't think the Celtics need to get rid of Marcus Smart. He brings a nice kind of 3-ball to them. He's a great defensive presence out there as well. And they're not deep. The Celtics are not deep. The Celtics are not. I don't think they can really trade anybody, because the only way they can trade one of their players is if they get a lot of kind of bench players in return to make them a little bit more deep. But I don't think they can afford to lose a huge key starting kind of centerpiece of this offense. I mean, they struggled without him before he got injured, and now they're starting to get right and start to win some games here now after the All-Star break, when he's finally getting back acclimated into the rhythm of their offense, starting to get back into that starting lineup as well. So I really do not see the Celtics trading Marcus Smart. Really don't think they have any pieces to trade. Maybe you trade Kemba Walker, but I don't know what his value is going to be, and I'm not sure you're going to get enough pieces to kind of make up for losing a decent score on this team. The Celtics are not deep. They really have no trade. They do have draft picks, right? They got draft picks. The Celtics have a lot of draft picks that they may be able to trade, but for just kind of personnel and players on their team, they really don't have anything to offer. So don't expect the Celtics to really make any trade pieces featuring current players on the roster. And Marcus Smart's a huge piece of this offense, so I don't see them trading him away. Alrighty, well, let's go to the story then. This one, Blake Griffin, first game with the Nets yesterday, and he finally dunked, folks. Hasn't dunked since 2019. Finally coming in this game dunking. He only finished with 2 points. These are his 2 points right here, the dunk. So still not really, well, it's his first game, so obviously not going to be really acclimated to kind of the scoring pace and all of that. But he wasn't really getting it done too heavy on that Pistons team anyway. He didn't take any threes this game, which I love. Stop shooting the three, Blake Griffin. Start dunking again. So if this is kind of a highlight, his first game, a little bit of a sneak peek of what's to come for Blake Griffin on this Nets team, I'm all about it. Getting to the rim, getting a couple of rebounds, not shooting the three, and that's all we're looking for Blake Griffin. Dunking, rebounding, good defense, no threes, come off the bench, and we'll give you a chip. That's all you have to do for us. Get us a couple of rebounds, get us a couple of nice low post points, and we'll give you a ring in return. Alrighty, let's move on to some nice Jared Allen news. And folks, we love Jared Allen on the show. We just voted him an all-star. We think he's a true all-star snub. He worked well with the Nets, then he comes over in the Cavs and is still working very well. Played well on the bench for the Cavs, got elevated to the starting position because they're trying to trade Andre Drummond, and now Jared Allen is absolutely fantastic on the starting roster for the Cavs team. So, Cavs insiders expect Jared Allen to net $100 million contract extension from the Cavs. So I love that because Jared Allen is getting paid exactly what he's worth, $100 million. Yes, sir, this man is a great big scoring, rebounding. Yes, sir, he can get it done. Defense needs to be up a little bit more, but for an offensive kind of minded center, he can definitely get it done. So I love that he's going to get $100 million. What I don't love is that he's going to be stuck on the Cavs for his entire career, basically go to waste. The Cavs aren't really going to do anything. So that's the annoying part. Jared Allen getting paid, absolutely all about it. Definitely deserves it, but going to be on a non-championship caliber team. I really wish they would trade him at the trade deadline, but we know they're trying to get rid of Andre Drummond, so you're going to have to keep it big at some point. But yeah, expect Jared Allen. I'm hoping him and Colin Sexton and Darius Garland can maybe give them a chance at the playoffs. Are they currently even in the top 10 right now? They're currently 12. Get to the top 10, man. At least have a chance to kind of win that play-in tournament. But currently at number 12 with only 16 wins, that's not going to get it done. So he's going to have to try to improve 3 more wins here to get to that 10th seed currently, to beat the Bulls currently at 19 wins. But, yeah, happy for Jared Allen, but unfortunately going to be on the Cavs, so not going to get the true recognition that he does deserve out here. Alrighty, and then this trade rumor, I don't get this one either. The Hornets have called the Lakers about Montrezl Harrell. Well, the Lakers cannot afford to get rid of Montrezl Harrell. Without Anthony Davis, he's kind of their best big, and he's still coming off the bench here. So I don't think the Lakers really trade away Montrezl Harrell for really anything, and I would have loved this if, a little bit before LaMelo Ball got injured, I would have loved having Montrezl Harrell on the Hornets. First of all, I love Montrezl Harrell, and the second thing we say that the Hornets need another big. If you have Cody Zeller come off the bench, elevate Montrezl Harrell to the starting position, that Hornets team could have been even more dangerous than they already are, or even were before LaMelo Ball got injured. Now, I mean, I don't want to see Montrezl Harrell going to the Hornets, because then I'll have to wait till next season, But first, the Lakers, they cannot afford to get rid of Montrezl Harrell. Second, now LaMelo's gone, so Montrezl Harrell's first season with the Hornets isn't going to do anything great. Maybe if Terry Rozier can kind of take over the starting point guard position and then, elevate maybe Miles Bridges or something like that to the starting lineup. But, yeah, Montrezl Harrell to the Hornets would have been great before LaMelo Ball, but don't really see it realistically happening here. Alrighty, and then the last trade rumor here, Aaron Gordon has formally requested a trade from the Orlando Magic. He and Vucevic really just don't work well together on the court. They both can't eat and be superstars together. So Aaron Gordon officially wanting out of the Magic. We'll see where he goes. I mean, we get, like we just said, 3 days out to the trade deadline. So Aaron Gordon's probably a good pickup to get. Definitely great athleticism that he has, but doesn't know what it takes to kind of win consistently in this league. Has kind of proven he can't kind of work with another great big. We'll see if he's able to kind of work with kind of a great guard, see if that matchup works well, but we saw him not really having great success in games where Vucevic has great success, so that's not very promising that he can kind of work with other superstars demanding a trade from a very lackluster team. So his talent's there, not really sure how he's going to be able to fit in a team-oriented role, but we'll see if the Magic deal this man. Alrighty, those are all the stories to talk about. We are very close to the halftime in the Oregon or Iowa game, and Oregon is winning 52-46 over Iowa with 47 seconds left. Alrighty, but let's head over to the NBA, see what happened yesterday. We'll try to go a little quickly through this. There were a lot of games on, and I still do want to get to our NFL draft prospect of the day. So let's go a little bit quickly through this. We'll go over it a little bit, try to go a little bit in depth into the stats, do our moneymaker for today's action, because I believe there are finally NBA games live tonight on nationally televised television. No, there's not. Darn it! Darn it! Still, March Madness is getting the bulk of the television time here, so the NBA is trying not to compete with them on nationally televised games, so a little unfortunate there. Alrighty, so let's just cover what happened yesterday in the NBA, I guess. Nothing more we can do. Nothing more we can do now. Alrighty, let's get back to last night's games. Alrighty, here we go. Pacers, Heat, and this was one of our moneymaker picks that we called correctly. Pacers plus 3.5. They win outright 109-106. We cannot trust this team without Goran Dragic. This Heat team does not win without Goran Dragic. Easy, simple. That's easy money right there. Do not get bogged down by all those other players. Kind of even Bam Adebayo. I mean, Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic were kind of winning games decently, consistently without Bam Adebayo. So it's really just the heart and soul of this team, Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic. Their shooting ability just kind of elevates everybody around him. Just their presence on the floor just elevates all those around them. But when one or both of those players are out, you cannot expect this Heat team to win. So Pacers get another win here over the Heat, 109-96 or 109-106. Alrighty, then the Thunder and the Rockets and Christian Wood and Victor Oladipo and John Wall all playing together finally, and they almost win the game because of that. Almost snapped a 20-game losing streak because, kind of their best players are all finally playing healthy together again. But just not quite enough here. John Wall had a couple of instances where he had a chance to tie up the game. He had a chance at a layup to tie up the game. Then he had a chance at the three to win the game. Unfortunately, Luguentz Dort coming up big defensively, blocking John Wall's layup attempt. Nice defense on the three to not let him really get any close, and it was really a very wild shot from John Wall to really to win the game from the three, kind of hitting the side of the rim. Not very great. So great defense by Luguentz-Dort down the stretch. Unfortunate offense by John Wall down the stretch, and that's why the Thunder escape here. 114-112 win over the Rockets. Alrighty, Pelicans and the Nuggets now. Look at this. Pelicans get the win. No Lonzo Ball. Just really kind of great kind of clutchness down low by the Pelicans. Zion Williamson, doing his thing. Brandon Ingram getting it done down late the stretch as well. Unfortunately, this Nuggets team loses to the Pelicans. Now, I think we may be able to kind of buy this Pelicans team a little bit more. This is a huge win for them over the Nuggets. We haven't really seen them sustain great wins consistently here, but now after the All-Star break, when teams are really trying to shore up their kind of playoff positioning or just try to make the playoffs at all, this is where we start to get some kind of great performances here, and the Pelicans had a really great performance here this night or this game. Everybody kind of really getting it done, and like we said, no Lonzo Ball, and they're still kind of able to get the win here. So huge, great win for the Pelicans here, 113-108. Alrighty, Celtics and the Magic now. This is why Aaron Gordon wants a request for a trade because they don't win the game. So Celtics, another win here. I think this might be a little bit of a streak here for the Celtics. What do we got going on? 1-game winning streak, 6-4 in their last 10. So, getting Marcus Smart acclimated to the starting lineup, that's why I really don't see them trading him, because they just kind of need him now. They're starting to get him back acclimated to the starting rotation here at the starting two. They're not going to trade that now. It's not going to happen. We can put that to bed. I would kind of double down on that and risk the show. I would bet the show that the Celtics do not get rid of Marcus Smart. Alrighty, Wizards and the Nets, and the Wizards really balled out. They played super hard and just unfortunately come up a little bit short late in the fourth quarter. Nets are able to kind of win the game and secure the win late in the fourth quarter. So the Nets win 113-106. James Harden and Kyrie Irving both get it done. Unfortunately, just a couple too many turnovers for the Wizards, not being as clutch as the Nets were. So the Nets are able to pull away. Alrighty, Raptors and the Cavs. Cavs get the win 116-105 over the Raptors. Cavs starting to get acclimated a little bit more. Colin Sexton and Darius Garland are starting to kind of take over the games a little bit more. Their scoring production's absolutely needed and greatly appreciated and just great on this Cavs team. We see no Kevin Love. We saw Kevin Love and Larry Nance Jr. kind of ruin the offensive flow when they first started to get into the starting lineup. But just Larry Nance Jr. in the starting lineup here, no Kevin Love playing, and the offense puts up 116 points. So, and for this Raptors team, I'm just glad we never fell for them this entire season. They're at 17-25. Really don't know what it's going to take for this team to really get back on track here. They're currently number 11 here in the East. Nothing really great here. So just like we said, this Raptors kind of team is running out of their magic. They're kind of role player magic. They're role player elevating themselves on a nightly basis. So they're kind of running out here. I think it's the last year. I think Nick Nurse is going to have to try and do something, maybe keep a couple of pieces, but try to look for a true star, because he's kind of looking at how far you can go without kind of a true superstar or two true superstars. If you want to count Kyle Lowry as a superstar, I've got no problem with that, but you need at least two. You really can't get it done with one. We say that all the time. LeBron James can't do it, so no other superstar is going to be able to do it if it's not LeBron James. So you need at least more than one superstar, and the Raptors have barely one, if that. Alrighty, Bulls and Pistons. Pistons lose, no surprise there. Pistons win 100-86, so we'll take a look at them. How's, kind of our big pieces that we like to watch from the Bulls: Zach LaVine, Kobe White, Lauren McKinnon. So we'll look at all them to see how their scoring production came from. Alrighty, 76ers and the Knicks. This is one we've already talked about. Julius Randle not really happy here. Tobias Harris floundering big time. Like I said, with 13 seconds left, Tobias Harris goes to the line already up by 3. So 1 makes it a 2-possession game. 2 makes it a big kind of 2-possession game and really kind of ices it with 13 seconds left. But he goes up to the free throw line and misses both of them. Then Julius Randle hits a big old 3. Then that ties the game. Then Julius Randle has another chance at a 3 to win the game in regulation. Misses it. goes into overtime. Once again, has another chance to win it in overtime. Unfortunately, does not go. Then he gets a foul called on him, and then they lose because Tobias Harris back at the free throw line ends up draining both of them, I believe. So another frustrating close loss against a good team by this Knicks team, especially without Joel Embiid. This Knicks team really can't lose this game against the 76ers. That's why we do like the Knicks, but we're not really buying them too much. We kind of sold them at really the right time, the week before the All-Star break. Haven't been in our top 10 since then, so I think we sold them at the right time. And once again, the 76ers team winning without Joel Embiid is a very, very great sign for the 76ers as just kind of a unit. Everybody stepping up in really kind of their place. So we'll look at the stats and see who really stepped up here. They do get the win. Not pretty, but hey, a win's a win, so I'll take it. Alrighty, Lakers and the Suns, another game that we hit in our moneymaker. Suns minus 9.5, really no problem here, winning 111-94 without LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Nobody's going to step up on this team. Montrezl Harrell still had a good game, but we love Montrezl Harrell. How's Kyle Kuzma looking? Alex Caruso, Taylor Horton-Tucker. So we'll get into a little bit deeper onto what the Lakers did without LeBron James, but it's not a win. Can't buy them. Just sold them a lot. We sold all our stock. We moved them out of the top 10 and put the Hawks in there. But cannot trust this Lakers team with no LeBron. And then, oh my goodness, the Blazers getting absolutely blown out here by the Mavericks. I believe this was in a back-to-back with them. That's why we stayed away from it. But Mavericks win 132-92, 40-point win, folks. Oh my gosh, truly disappointing here with the Blazers. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are not working very well here. It wasn't as I thought it would kind of, as soon as CJ McCollum came back into the starting lineup, I thought the Blazers would start to kind of win a little bit more consistently here and start to challenge the better teams more consistently here. But that really hasn't been the case. Damian Lillard is kind of proving that he can't be a true facilitator of the floor. I mean, you've got great pieces around you. Use them a little bit more, but he just kind of likes to be the guy. So this is definitely hurting his MVP chances a little bit. This is why we still have him at number 3. We got James Harden at 1, Joel Embiid at 2, Damian Lillard at 3. But Joel Embiid being out, Damian Lillard not winning with CJ McCollum, we may have to find 2 other suitors here to try to round out that top 3 in our MVP discussion. But man, oh man, a huge blowout loss here for the Blazers, and this is kind of what we see about them. When they lose, they kind of lose big, which is not great, but we'll see what happens for the rest of the week here for the Blazers, but not a great looking performance here for them. Alrighty, we'll go a little bit deeper in some of these games. I do want to kind of still get some other topics in on the show. So let's start breaking down first the Pacers, because I do want to see what Caris LeVert did. He did hit some nice clutch shots in overtime in this game. It did go to overtime. That's what I thought. He did hit some nice clutch shots in overtime. He missed a clutch shot in regulation, but kind of made it up in overtime a little bit. All right, so Caris LeVert out here putting up 13 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Once again, not shooting very well, 27% from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. So Caris LeVert definitely needs to start to get into some nice rhythm here with the offensive starters here for the Pacers. Hasn't really had a really great game. It's all kind of decent points, but really kind of inefficient his first couple of games here with the Pacers. But hopefully he can get it figured out, hopefully. And then it's just really just solid production from everybody. Nobody in 20 points plus category here, but we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players all in double-digit scoring, all with kind of 12 plus points here. So just kind of a nice scoring team production here. And then for the Heat, Jimmy Butler, the 21 points, 15 rebounds, can always count on him. Bam Adebayo, 29 points, 10 rebounds, can always count on him. Kelly Olynyk, 7 points on 27% shooting, 1 of 7 from 3. Once again, can always count on him. Duncan Robinson had 13 points, so I will give him that, but once again, not great shooting, 3 of 11 from 3. Can never really truly count on him. And then Tyler Hero, once again, off the bench, can kind of give it to him with the 11 points off the bench, but once again, 0 of 7 from 3. This is what the Heat team need to be good at. That's why they were so good last year in the bubble, because their three-point shooting was really good, but nobody is stepping it up here this season. Kelly Olynyk, 1 of 7. Duncan Robinson, 3 of 11. Tyler Hero, 0 of 7. I mean, we're talking about 33s between 3 players, and they hit like 4. I mean, that's not efficient at all, so not great. We see they shot 24% as a team, where the Pacers shot 33%. So is that the difference? That's basically the difference there. So can't count on this Heat team without Goran Dragic. He brings the three-point efficiency there, and so they lose because of that. Alrighty, let's go to the Celtics now. I want to see what Jason Tatum is doing. So let's go here. Do we got the Celtics game up? Yeah, right here. All right, Celtics. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, 23 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Jaylen Brown, 34 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Jaylen Brown really loving being back at the 3 here now that Marcus Smart's back at the 2. And then Jason Tatum slides to the 4 because of that. Marcus Smart, 11 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 of 5 from 3. Just good defense as well. That's what Marcus Smart does. Decently efficient from 3. Gets the assists. So decent performance by Marcus Smart. Kemba Walker, 14 points, 2 of 7 from 3. Once again, very, very heavy three-pointers from Kemba Walker. Not truly liking it. And then nobody else stepping up off the bench because we know they are not deep. So I really don't know if they trade Marcus Smart. I mean, the only kind of trade pieces they have are Marcus Smart and Kemba Walker. They're not going to get rid of Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Don't think they'll get rid of Daniel Tice. Not really sure they can get really anything for him, even that. But Marcus Smart and Kemba Walker is really their kind of only trade pieces here, and they would have to get multiple players of there to try to shore up their scoring output that they're missing from trading one of these 2 players, and to get a little bit deeper on this bench. I mean, look at their bench. Grant Williams, 0 points. Peyton Pritchard, 5 points. Robert Williams, 4 points. Aaron Nesmith, 3 points. Semi Ojeleye, 3 points. Taco Fall not getting any minutes is still absurd to me. Why are you not playing this kind of 7-foot? Is he 7'4"? 7'5". How are you not playing 7'5" Taco Fall? I still don't get it. Daniel Tice, Robert Williams, that's not your answer at the big. Start playing Taco Fall. Especially, that's what frustrates me so much, how coaches do not play some of their kind of reserve bench pieces in the kind of first half of the season. Yes, you obviously want to start winning out of the gate, but you have to win in the back half of the season, and there's really no chance to have experimental lineups in the second half of the season where really every game is really starting to lock in and matter more and more as the games dwindle. That's why you can kind of experiment a little bit in the first half of the season. That's why you have kind of 2 halves of the season. That's why an all-star break separates you. I want to see teams and kind of coaches starting to use some of their other bench reserve players a little bit more. Taco Fall, Bobo, let's get them incorporated into this game, because whenever we see them out on the floor in kind of garbage time or just kind of preseason, they're always looking really good, but you don't give them any solid minutes in real game time scenario, so we're really not sure if they're actually good or not. Now, the counter argument to that is, these coaches see them play every single day in practice, so you know what they can do, but game time practice, still a little bit of a difference there, obviously, and I want to see what they can do here in real game time minutes. So, and especially with the Celtics team, who are kind of in a free fall for a little bit, multiple times this season, never really changing the lineup too much, especially with Marcus Smart out, and you are having, Tristan Thompson and Daniel Tice both being in the starting lineup, and you still don't give any playing minutes to Taco Fall. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So yeah, I mean, if Taco Fall came in and was looking really good, maybe, and you didn't really think he was that good, you could have just traded him. You could have maybe swindled the team a little bit. The Celtics have been doing that the last 5 years. That's why they have so many draft picks. I don't know, man. I don't know. But the Celtics win. Congratulations. They win 112-96 over the Magic. They won't win I don't even know if they'll win the first round of the East, honestly. They're not deep. They're not deep. No great big, not deep. Absurd. Alrighty, let's go a little bit deeper into this Nets game now. Alrighty, Nets got James Harden going 26 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Kyrie Irving 28 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. Once again, James Harden shooting better than Kyrie Irving. Surprising? No. Better defense, we see James Harden a +7 and Kyrie Irving a -7. Surprising? No. Marty, Jeff Green, 3 points. Joe Harris, 10 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Off the bench, as we said, Blake Griffin only playing 15 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds. Nothing great. Decent defense. We see him a +12, so I'll give him that. And then Nicholas Claxton is really kind of emerging here these last couple of weeks here. 16 points, 3 rebounds for this man. So definitely get it done, Nicholas Claxton. Nice little, second year in, 6'11", great big. Yes, sir. Nicholas Claxton is truly getting it done here. Let's quickly keep tabs on Russell Westbrook's turnovers. We get 8. Folks. Yes, he had 29 points and 13 assists and 13 rebounds, which is actually really good, and we're not knocking it, but these turnovers need to come down heavily by half. They need to come down to like 4 or 5, and in a close game against the Nets, every turnover matters, and that's what Russell Westbrook is doing here. He's having great offensive production here in literally every category, but those turnovers, they come to haunt you late in the fourth quarter, and that's why every team that Russell Westbrook's on, they don't really make it that far. Truly unfortunate. Alrighty, let's go to the 76ers now. Let's see who steps up in place of Joel Embiid. Alrighty, Danny Green, 11 points. Alrighty, didn't take a lot of shots, and he shot decent, 60% from 3 and 50% from the field, so I'll give him it. Decent defense as well. Tobias Harris, 20 points on 27% shooting. Did not do great, but hey, at the end of the day, they still win. Just wasn't clutch. Ben Simmons, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. We obviously see no Lonzo Ball here. Alrighty, and then we also see no Eric Bledsoe, right? Seth Curry. It's Eric Bledsoe's on another team that we kind of trash a little bit. But no Seth Curry, no Lonzo Ball. And we get Ben Simmons with 16 points. Furkan Korkmaz steps up into the starting rotation, 12 points. And then off the bench, Shake Milton, great production here, 21 points. So nobody really stepped it up. I would say Shake Milton maybe stepped it up the most out of everybody. Danny Green still not getting, stepping it up, take a lot of more shots. I've got no problem with that. Tobias Harris, a little lackluster, almost lost in the game not being clutch. So kind of escaped there a little bit with the 76ers over the Knicks. Alrighty, and then let's close out here. Well, let's do the Lakers. Let's see who did not step up on this team. I'm sure it's everybody. So Wesley Matthews, Kyle Kuzma gets elevated to the starting lineup. Wesley Matthews at the starting 3, 0 points on 0 of 5 shooting, so that's not going to get it done. Kyle Kuzma, 13 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. Not bad overall, but with Kyle Kuzma, he needs to be the leading scorer on this team now. But he doesn't shoot well, 31% and 2 of 8 from 3. KCP, 7 points on 28% shooting. Dennis Schroeder, decent here, 22 points, 3 assists on 57% shooting and 2 of 4 from 3. Talen Horton-Tucker, 17 points off the bench. Once again, just on 37% shooting, so not efficient, but I'll take the 17 points. Montrezl Harrell, leading scorer of the Lakers, no surprise to us. 23 points with the 10 rebounds to go along with that as well. 76% from the field, and then nobody else doing anything meaningful. Alex Caruso, 7 points, nothing meaningful. So scoring needs to come from somewhere. Somebody's got to start stepping it up. It can't just be Montrezl Harrell, so we'll see. Alrighty, now we'll close here on the Blazers. Just want to see what really went wrong for them. Damian Lillard, 19 points on 43% shooting, 0 of 7 from 3. That will do it. CJ McCollum, 13 points, 0 of 5 from 3. That will do it. Enes Kanter, only 4 points. Robert Covington at 6 points. Derrick Jones Jr. at 8 points. Gary Trent Jr., 16 points off the bench. Nasir Little, 14 points off the bench, so that's not bad. But, a little bit of poor shooting performances from the 3 here for this Blazers team. They only put up 9. Wow. They put up 9 threes while the Mavericks made 19 threes. That is the difference. 10 3-pointers made difference there. That's 30 points in a 40-point loss there. So would have been a little bit close if the threes were falling a little bit better for the Blazers. Alrighty, let's kind of get our moneymaker out of the way here for today's action. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see the ins and outs. So here we go. No nationally televised games, unfortunately. Hopefully that's back on track on Tuesday, tomorrow, since there's going to be no March Madness on. So here we go. Tuesday. Do we got anything going on? Oh yeah. Double header. Pelicans, Lakers. That's gonna be a little lackluster. And then we get Warriors, 76ers already. So something to look forward to tomorrow. Nationally televised games. Thank goodness. Alrighty. Now let's go to the NBA here. Let's see if we can find any great value here in today's matchup. So here we go. First one's up. Kings, Cavs. Kings -4. Cavs +4. Interesting. Must be a lot of people out for the Cavs if they're getting 4 points here because I think they're the better team. So here we go. For the Kings, Marvin Bagley is out. For the Cavs, Kevin Love is game time decision. Matthew Dellavedova's game time decision. So just the usual suspects are in and out here. We'll take the Cavs here. Yes, sir. Jared Allen's playing out of his mind. Darius Garland and Colin Sexton have really been getting it done here. We do see that did we just say Kevin Love is in or out? Kevin Love is a game-time decision. That could hurt the offensive pace for the Cavs if he is in the starting rotation. So let that man come off the bench, Kevin Love, so they don't ruin the offensive flow here for the Cavs. But I'm all about it. These last couple of games, the offensive scoring has been right since Kevin Love is not playing. They put up 116 points, 110 points, 117 points. So I'm all about their offensive scoring production here. Darius Garland, Colin Sexton putting up like 25 plus points a night. Jared Allen getting the rebounds. Who's going to stop him on the Kings? I don't really think they got, a great big there. Raquan Holmes. I mean, all right. I'm taking Jared Allen, though. So, Cavs, better team, +4 points. Give me that at home. They are on a back-to-back, which is not good. They just played last night. That's the only knock against them. That's the only reason why we would maybe not take the Cavs. But they put up 116 points and just beat the Raptors, so I'm all about it. So, yes, sir, Cavs +4. Love that. Alrighty, then we get the Thunder and the Timberwolves. Alrighty, for the Thunder, George Hill, game time decision, so maybe he's back. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, game time decision, Darius Bazley out. And then for the Timberwolves, D'Angelo Russell is still out. Jordan McLaughlin still out. Malik Beasley is still out. Not ready to quite buy this Timberwolves team 100% just quite yet. So we will stay away from them. They have kind of won 2 in their last 4, which is good. They are showing signs of improvement here. The Thunder looking pretty decent as well. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's been playing great, and Luguentz Dort's getting it done defensively, but not ready to trust either of these teams here, so we'll stay away from that one. Not really great value either way. Hornets, Spurs. Hornets +5, Spurs -5. Alrighty, well, we can't buy the Hornets anymore. We're done with the Hornets. I'm off the Hornets. As long as LaMelo Ball is not there anymore, we can't trust them anymore, so we can't even look at this game. We won't even take it because I'm not buying the Spurs either. -5 points. Got to see their defense be a little bit better out there. And Cody Zeller is still out for the Hornets. So the Spurs should be fine here. We actually might take this. All right, let's play into this. Can't buy the Hornets anymore. Spurs get it done defensively. Huge deflated point in this Hornets team. So we'll swallow the 5.5 here. You gotta just live and die by this result. So we'll take the Spurs -5. That's pretty good value. Let's take advantage of that. First game without LaMelo Ball. Huge kind of gut punch to that Hornets team. We'll take that. Alrighty. Pacers, Bucks. Pacers +5.5. Bucks -5.5. Alrighty, Pacers, not ready to trust them against a good team. Everybody's good to go. For the Bucks, Giannis, a game-time decision. So that's a little interesting there. I'm sure he'll play, but I'm not ready to trust this Pacers team, and I'm not ready to swallow any points for the Bucks, especially seeing that Giannis is a game-time decision. So we'll see what's up with that. So let's move on to Jazz and the Bulls. Jazz -9, Bulls +9. Seems about right, so everybody's probably good to go. Rudy Gobert, game-time decision, and Garrett Temple's a game-time decision. So the Jazz, I mean, they're a little bit little vulnerable right now. 5-5 in their last 10, not really doing anything solid from like that the week before the All-Star break right up until this moment. So not ready to trust the Jazz -9 and still not ready to trust the Bulls +9. So we'll stay away from that one. See how Thaddeus Young is still doing here in the starting lineup for the Bulls. Alrighty, then we get the Celtics in the Grizzlies. Ooh, real interesting matchup here. This is a game the Grizzlies should win, that they should have really kind of no trouble winning. Alrighty, for the Celtics, Kemba Walker's out on rest. Tristan Thompson's a game-time decision. Who's going to step up in that starting guard spot? I don't know, man. And then for the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson is out. So, no Kemba Walker. Celtics on a back-to-back. Not ready to fully... I mean, they are not deep enough to have these players be resting. So, we'll take the Grizzlies -2 at home. Should have no trouble here. Celtics team's not very deep. Losing Kemba Walker. Who's going to fill in for that? Don't think anybody can. So, we'll take the Grizzlies -2 there. Alrighty, Raptors and the Rockets. Raptors -8, Rockets +8. Well, let's see if everybody's going to be playing in this back-to-back for this Rockets team here. Everybody's good to go for the Raptors. For the Rockets, Eric Gordon is out. David Waba's out. So at least we get Christian Wood still back. Victor Oladipo, John Wall all playing. We'll see if that last game was just kind of a fluke or if, this kind of solid bunch of Victor Oladipo, John Wall, and Christian Wood is actually very good. We like them in that kind of 1 week period, kind of midway of the first half of the season. That was real good. They were winning all their games. We were high on the Rockets, and then everything just started to tumble from there. Christian Wood was out forever. And then Victor Oladipo and John Wall were playing like every other game non-consistently, and then they're getting rid of their other bigs. So still am not ready to trust this Rockets team yet. We'll see how they play tonight, and we'll go from there. But we'll stay away from Raptors and Rockets. And then the last game of the night, the Hawks and the Clippers. This is a big game for the Hawks. This is kind of their first true test of if they're actually good or not. They are on an 8-game winning streak, but these are the teams that they've beat in that 8-game winning streak. The Heat, the Magic, the Raptors, the Kings, the Cavs, the Rockets, the Thunder, and the Lakers without LeBron James midway through the game, and they still only won by 5 there. So we are going to bet the Hawks here just because they are getting 6.5 points here. This is kind of a big game for them to kind of prove if they are contenders or not. So we're going to rock with the Hawks +6.5 here. We just elevated them up into the 10th seed in our power rankings, and I will instantly take them out if they lose against this Clippers team or if they get blown out. If they're competitive and lose by maybe 2 to 4 points, I've got no problem with that. But if they get blown out, if they're not competitive, we're taking them out of the power rankings tomorrow because we'll be done with it. Got to prove that you can beat the good teams. Yes, you can beat the trash teams. That's good. The average to below average teams, I've got no problem doing what you're supposed to be doing out there. But when it comes to step it up against great teams, got to see you start to win some of those. So a huge game here for the Hawks and Clippers. Cannot wait for it. Going to be a great one. We'll ride with the Hawks here. Hawks +6.5. Alright, so that's our moneymaker for today in the NBA. Cavs +4, Spurs -5, Grizzlies -2, Hawks +6.5. Alrighty, let's head over to our NFL Draft Prospect of the Day. We are currently on day 38 of our 73-day NFL Draft Countdown. We do have a couple of days to make up. I think we took about maybe 5 to 7 days off while talking about March Madness, but we've got plenty of time. We've got the entire month of April to kind of fill in those teams, those players that we're missing. But let's get right into it here. We are going to be looking at Jabril Cox, linebacker from LSU here. So we'll break down the stats, go a little bit in the highlights, and see if this man is worth our team's drafting. Is he going to be the piece that makes our team's playoff championship Super Bowl contenders? So let's see what this man's got. Alright, so linebacker from LSU, Jabril Cox. He is 6'4", 231. Good size for a linebacker. Now we just need to see if he's fast. I want fast linebackers. You're going to need to be keeping up in zone coverage with speedy wide receivers, Jerry Jeudy, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle when he comes in this league as well, that are going to be running crossing routes from your zone to another zone, and you're going to need to be able to keep up with that speed. So that's why we want fast linebackers. Alrighty, he only played 1 year in LSU because the rest of the season he was in the FCS with North Dakota State, whose Trey Lance is from, the big quarterback from North Dakota State that's drawing a lot of attention. So Jabril Cox was playing in the FCS for his entire career, and then in 2020 got kind of noticed and got called up to the FBS, and played for LSU. So we do only have one season of stats, but we are going to be looking at what he did highlights-wise in the FCS with North Dakota State, and then we're going to be looking at the highlight package of what he did here in the FBS with FSU or with LSU to see if there's any real kind of differences with playing kind of in the lower tier talent of the FCS compared to the FBS. So we'll be looking at all of that. So here we go. Let's break down the stats first of just what he did this one lone season here at LSU. Here we go. Senior season at LSU. Played 10 games. Had 58 total tackles. 1 sack, 3 interceptions, fantastic, 1 touchdown, so that's great. 5 pass defenses, 1 fumble recovery, so getting it done really here in this kind of COVID season. That's what we're about here, so fantastic. Unfortunately, LSU did not get to a bowl game, so we can't really judge his appearance on the bowl games, but hey, the stats are there. Interceptions, pass defenses, force or fumble recoveries, tackles, that's all there, and still got a sack, so not bad. Alrighty, those are all the stats there really are to break down. Nothing really meaty there in the stats. As we said, only 1 year of official stats in the FBS. But let's see what he was doing in North Dakota State with his kind of other years of playing football that got him noticed to go up to LSU. So here we go. Jabril Cox, linebacker for North Dakota State. We don't have his college number, so we will have to kind of figure that out through this highlight package. They put his number up here? No, they don't, unfortunately. Maybe they do it before this. Do they put this up right here? Number 42. All right. Number 42. Here we go. 6'3", 227. Looking real good from North Dakota State. So here we go. Just, all right, playing a little zone action here. Here he is, number 42, and just reads the eyes of the quarterback, steps in front of that pass and makes the pick. Can he go for the pick six? Yes, he can. Yes, sir. So Jabril Cox just recognizing it, reading the eyes of the quarterback. Great coverage for the linebacker, all about it. And some nice speed here. Can't really see. I mean, there's one lineman chasing him down, so we don't get a real true gauge on his speed. But let's see it here. Once again, playing zone coverage here. Or actually, he's on man coverage here on this man. Look at this man work. Here we go. Man coverage, takes him beautifully. Plays him beautifully. Looks back for the ball. Gets the pick. Can he return this one all the way? This is where we should be able to see some good speed here. It is snowy. Able to get all the way to the right side of the field. Trying to go back to inside towards the left side. Unfortunately, gets brought down by, looks like, the quarterback there. But yeah, I mean, this is great coverage. He's got kind of great skills and technique of kind of playing man coverage there, so I'm all about it. Ooh, a big stick here. Just kind of throwing it to the safety valve right here. He comes up and makes a surefire tackle. Big ol' hit there. Yes, sir. Comes across the middle. Boom. Boom. Shoulder perfect technique there. Great tackle. Yes, sir. Alrighty, once again, just steps in front of the throw here, playing zone coverage, and he just jumps in front of it, reading the eyes. Do not test this man. Yes, sir, another pick six for this man. Woof. Alrighty. Once again, decent speed here. Yeah, just jumping in front of these routes here. Let's see if he can keep this up at LSU if he's jumping all these routes. We saw he had 3 interceptions, so possibly. Alrighty, quarterback getting chased out of the pocket, but he comes up and makes an absolutely perfect tackle here. Surefire, wrap him up, bring him down. No point of throwing the ball. Can't throw the ball. Nowhere to go with the ball. And he comes up and makes a perfect tackle right here. Very well done. Alrighty, once again, here we go. Coming off the blitz on the right side here. Nobody picks him up. I mean, look at this running back trying to defend, trying to guard this man. He goes low and he just kind of sidesteps him. Gets there for the quarterback, brings him down. Easy. That's too easy. That's real way too easy there. Alrighty, dropping back in coverage, and once again, I mean, these quarterbacks here and these teams are not good. He's following the eyes of the quarterback the entire way. Look at him step up, help out on this kind of man coverage, steps up, takes the throw away, picks it off. Can he go the entire distance? This is where we see some good speed. Alrighty, brought down, chased out of bounds. Alrighty, pass defense again, steps up, does not let the quarterback go anywhere. Here he is, just watching him, just making sure containing this quarterback doesn't go anywhere. Perfect, shows that he is blitzing right on this play. Steps back, zone coverage, steps up, makes the perfect hit. Great job. Once again, this is, for North Dakota State in the FCS, so it's not in the FBS level of caliber talent there. But we'll be able to see that in the next highlight package to see if he's still doing all these great things. And a huge, great tackle here. A little bit of a surefire tackle we're looking at here. Brings him down about 5 yards short of the line of scrimmage here. Nice little surefire tackle, not breaking down, not letting the running back juke around you, just going. I have a chance to bring you 5 yards deep behind the line of scrimmage, and I intend to make you lose all 5 of those yards on my surefire tackle ability. Fantastic. Now we get him in the red zone here, jumps up, bats down a ball. Yes, sir. Quarterback tries to get it out of there quickly, but he gets his hands up. Perfect job there. Kind of unblocked as well. He would have sacked the quarterback if he just didn't kind of lackadaisically throw the ball away here. So very well done. This man's getting it done. I mean, we're seeing everything. Great coverage, great man defense, getting it done with the quarterback in the sacks and the blitzes, making surefire open field tackles. Another surefire tackle here. A little bit of a kind of quarterback pass screen here. They throw it to number 6 here, who's going to throw it again, but he just stays and makes the tackle and fights through the block here. Very well done. Fights through the block, goes, chases that second passer down for the loss of a lot of yards. Look at that. Look at this wide receiver trying to block this man. Not working. Get off of me. Shuts the block. Goes and makes the tackle. If you can blow up screen passes, screen plays, that's all we're about. Wide receiver screens, quarterback screens that lead to other passes. Blow up those screen passes. That is kind of the direction the NFL is heading. All right, we get another pick here. Just once again, jumping in front of the route here. Reading the quarterback's eyes the entire way. Look at this man stay solid, backing up, still looking at the quarterback, following his eyes towards kind of the righter side of the field. That's what gets him sucked in, and then he's able to make the absolute perfect pass on a really garbage throw there. So yes, sir. Then he's not able to kind of run it all the way back. He's not the fastest linebacker. It's good speed. It's solid speed. It's nothing, amazing. It's nothing, out of the ordinary. It's solid linebacker speed, and I would have no problem taking this man. In the draft, in a trade, anything 5 years down the road in a trade, got no problem. Get this man drafted. Solid linebacker right here. Alrighty, let's see where he is now. Just coming on the blitz. Here he is, blitzing off the left side, untouched, forces the fumble. Oh, they call it incomplete. Lame. Looks like they were trying to do a little bit of a screen there, and he just gets them and blows up the quarterback. Fantastic. Alright, we'll watch this one last play here, and then we'll go over to what he did in LSU, because that's a nice little 3-minute clip that we can see in kind of great team action. So here we go. Once again, just blitzing. Here he goes. Disguises the blitz. Looks like he's going to start in coverage and then just times it perfectly, and then forces a very bad throw by the quarterback, potentially intentional grounding. Possibly was outside the pocket, but either way, makes the quarterback pay for a dangerous decision there to kind of throw away the ball. So he can definitely blitz, no problem. Oh, and there's the flag. There's the flag, intentional grounding. Think they're going to force the intentional grounding in that one. Yeah, don't think he got out of the pocket. So very well done there. Alrighty, but that was in the FCS with North Dakota State. Let's see how this man's working in the FBS against LSU. Are all those things that we just saw in kind of the lesser competition still there? That's going to be the definitive answer if this man can definitely work in the NFL or not. So here we go. LSU, Jabril Cox, linebacker from LSU, and his number here is 19. So let's watch this man work in LSU. Here we go from this year. First play. Once again, just dropping into coverage in this zone coverage. Is he in zone or is he in man? I mean, he's right on this crossing route over the middle of the field, gets in front of the defender, picks it off, and then runs the extra 5 yards to make it a pick 6. Alrighty, here we go. Just a little dump-off pass to the running back here. He's right on him, brings him down, not even to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard loss there. Alrighty, dropping back in coverage here, and then he comes up and makes the big ol' hit. He sees the quarterback getting flushed out of the pocket. He can now leave his assignment here of the zone to go and make a play on the ball, and once again, he does. Surefire kind of tackle here, able to bring down the quarterback. Oh my goodness, look at this blitz. Holy cow. Literally just right through the line, instantly not being blocked. Nobody ever blocks this man on these blitzes. Woof. He can get through those blocks quickly, kind of disguise his blitzes good. Rushes the quarterback, brings him down, forces the ball out. Fantastic. Alrighty, another screen pass here, and he does not let it get set up. Yes, sir. He catches the ball. The running back catches the ball, but, I mean, he's getting hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's a loss on a screenplay. Yes, sir. Go and attack that screenplay when you see it. He does. He fights through all the blocks and a big ol' hit to bring down the running back. Yes, sir. Alrighty. All right, against Vanderbilt here, running back just trying to hit a nice little outside zone here. And once again, he stays with it, reading it, beats the blocks, brings down the running back 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage here. Oh, this is fantastic. Has to kind of maintain the edge here on a read option or a pitch option right here. Here he is, stays with it, sees the quarterback's going to keep it, makes a huge, great tackle on the quarterback. Quarterback maybe gets a yard, but I mean, that's still great right there. Alrighty, running back right here, and once again just sets the edge, keeps the edge right here. Does not let you get outside of him, and just once again bringing the running back down for about a 2-yard loss. Yes, sir. His running game ability is fantastic. All right, another great surefire tackle here in open space. If this wide receiver beats Jabril Cox, I mean, he's looking for at least a first down and possibly some more, but he brings them down short. All right, another kind of tackle here. Running back trying to get inside, brings him down. Now, the running back still gets the first down, but it's not an explosive run, so still good. Not every play is going to be behind the line of scrimmage. Just got to bring him down at some points. Oh, yeah, look at this surefire tackle. Yes, sir. Kind of reads it, goes and attacks the ball. He can attack the ball fantastically. I love this. Yes, sir. Surefire tackle, about a 5-6 yard loss there. Well done. We're gonna officially note that surefire open field tackler. I've loved it. Alrighty, he gets blocked a little bit on this one against Alabama, but he's able to bring down the running back. Even though he picked up about 10 to 15 yards on that play, still able to bring him down. Alrighty, Florida going deep, and oh, look at this man playing deep coverage here, and look at how well he placed the ball. Yes, sir, you would think this man's a corner. The way he's able to kind of play some of these passes, fantastic work. All right, against Alabama again, a toss to the right side. Once again, able to get a hand on him. He does get blocked a little bit here, but sheds it and still is able to kind of get a half a credit for that tackle. All righty, where are we at right here? Once again, fantastic work. Does not get fooled on any of these fakes. It looks like the quarterback's going to go to pass it here in the red zone, but he keeps it. He keeps his eyes on the quarterback, steps up, and makes the tackle a yard short of the goal line. All right, against Alabama again, over the middle of the field, and oh, he picks off Mac Jones right here. Yes, sir. Looks like he's going to kind of fake the blitz a little bit, drop back into zone coverage, and then there he is waiting for that kind of midfield cross. He gets the pick. He's going to go down for the touchdown. I mean, just drops into zone coverage. Very well done. And it looks like he's got some nice speed here. I'm all about his speed, actually. This is great speed for a linebacker. Out of everything we've seen, I'm all about the speed. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Ball just kind of tips out here from the quarterback. Bad pass. He's able to be there for another pick there. Another great zone coverage there, this time on kind of the flats. No, looks like he's got back out of the backfield here. Let's watch it. Yeah, he does got back out of the backfield. Chases him all the way down and then just steps in front on that bad pass there. Yes, sir. Alrighty, this man can definitely work. We saw him in the FCS, solid there, and then in the FBS, still doing all the same things we saw there in kind of lesser competition at North Dakota State than better competition here at LSU. So I'm loving Jabril Cox. Great height, great size, great speed, surefire open field tackler, can play zone and man coverage perfectly. That's what you want from your linebackers. Nice little zone coverage in the middle, outside zone, maybe even in the flat at some points. I have back out of the backfield. Nice little deep ball that we saw break up from Florida, so he can play some great wide receiver. He can play some great coverage on wide receiver. So Jabril Cox, folks, from LSU, linebacker. He's looking real good out there. Big about him. Alrighty, let's see if there's any quarterback or any breaking news here. As we end the show here, anything breaking while we were going live? Oregon is running away with this game against Iowa, 73-57, with 12 minutes left. Alrighty. Not looking like any news is breaking here. So I think we are good to close the show here. Alrighty, so we're back tomorrow live, noon Eastern, like always, breaking down the March Madness. Enjoy the last day of full NCAA men's basketball today, because it's going to go away for a little bit till next Saturday. So we're back live, noon Eastern, breaking down a new NFL draft prospect, breaking down the NBA, talking about all the stories, and whatever comes up, and we'll talk about it. So we're back tomorrow live, noon Eastern. As always, we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, and we are out of here.